All right, so super short, quick vid on what is on my iPhone. I thought since we are like halfway through an iPhone refresh cycle, I would create just some apps so you can either use some, you cannot. If you want to watch this video, so be it. I did create that video on what the next gen iPhone, like the iPhone 17, 17 Pro Max will look like. It went somewhat viral. You can check that out linked up this way. It looks weird, the visor, I don't know if I'm a fan, but these are some of the top apps slash how I've set up my iPhone just to stay productive, just to stay a bit fresh. I used to do these videos a lot more, to be honest, and you can see on my wallpaper, I've got my good old buddy Link, who's actually in studio having a snooze. Link, okay, made an appearance. You deserve your treat. You look cute on video, you're on my wallpaper. So you can see on my main screen, I've kept it very minimal. This is actually an icon pack that I created myself years ago, back when you can customize icons and you could actually just change the shortcut. The one thing that you can do now on iOS is obviously change them, but you still can't get small icons to not have the name of an app. So you can see calendar, for example, that one changes every day of the month or every day. So I don't have that updated. I will leave my icon pack listed in the description. You can buy it, you don't have to. So swiping on over to the next page is obviously the apps that I'm using more on a month-to-month basis. So I will share a dirty little secret. This is the only reason or one of why I want to create this video. Pokemon Pocket, TCG. I have spent an ungodly amount of time playing this game. I actually just grinded my way all the way up to Master Ball. That is my friend ID, and you can add me. I'm a big fan of the OG 150, which some of the full art cards I'm trying to get. I can even open up a pack on screen, on camera. Let's see, I'll take a new pack. You can open up a booster. You guys are gonna be good luck for me here. Swipe through and stop. Come on, I gotta hit a good card. Oh. Yo, there's something at the end there. Yo, I just pulled a shiny on camera. You cannot even make that shit up. That is effing wild. That is hilarious. So if you know, you know that's a very tough card to pull. So in the little bucket here, I've got all my social media apps. So you can obviously watch this right now where you're watching it, on YouTube, for example, Instagram, you can scroll all the death wheels. But I will say a new social app that I'm using is the new Photoshop app. And just like Photoshop for desktop, it actually has a lot of similar features. So you can do things like layer control, you can do AI regen. It's a nice little tool in addition to say Lightroom, which is an app that I've used from Adobe literally for years to make all my thumbnails. So next off in the finance bucket, this is where I obviously keep all my finances in one place. So all the banking apps that I use, maybe some of the investments that I make. I'll share maybe my portfolio here. So you can see on my holdings, most of the companies that I'm currently invested into, a lot of tech heavy ones being the tech space. I've kind of been given this sneak peek over years. Definitely not insider trading, but the last year has been great. Maybe the past couple months, what's going on, with Trump, all the tariffs. I'm not gonna speak my mind on politics, but still making some rebounds. Obviously in the past year, you can see that big kind of spike. Invest your money, that's all I'll say. Don't let it just sit idle in the bank. That is my finances app. Next one, I've just got FanDuel. That's for say any sports betting. I don't really condone betting, but every couple times a year, I'll throw a couple bucks on a game. Maybe at the end of the year, the Premier League is coming to an end. Maybe I can throw a couple bucks on Man United winning the last game of the season. I wouldn't hold my breath. I'll probably end up losing money, but that is what I use. I was talking about Premier League. Fubo in Canada is the main Premier League app that you use to watch all of your content. Unfortunately, no Champions League. That is a separate app. I think that's DAZN. But for all of my Premier League, content that I watch, typically it's through Fubo. The next app's nothing too serious. We've got Amazon, we've got eBay. Those are pretty self-explanatory. I have a Prime membership, all the stuff that I order through Amazon. eBay, I do still use to honestly buy Pokemon cards. So in addition to playing the Pocket TCG, I also collect the OG 150 cards. In the end, it is still more beneficial to buy singles, so you can see some of the cards that I have bought over the past year. My goal is to make this OG 150 Pokemon poster with as many of the full arts as I can, and when I get to the new house, that will be a cool little art piece, but I've been using eBay for that. Formula One, once again, just another sports app that I kind of watch highlights. listen to news. I'm big into like F1, maybe not as much as I was in the past couple seasons. I'm not too sure why I've dropped off, but my streaming service, those kind of switch between say like Netflix, Amazon Prime, Apple TV, but the current one is Netflix that I use, and I am still rewatching The Office for like the 10th time, and Black Mirror. Really good show. I was really pumped for the continuation of like USS Callister. It's like the last episode of this season. Won't spoil it for anyone, but it was good. I liked it. Black Mirror has always been one of those cool shows where it kind of mixes in like tech to what's happening in the world, and you can definitely see a lot of this stuff happening like in the near future, which is kind of creepy, but cool in the same way. And I actually just did notice my screen protector is bubbling on the bottom. These are just the ESR screen guards that I always use. They come in these little multi-packs. So step one, I'm just gonna wipe down the screen, the old area. You can actually place it in this little like template tray. Pulling down, and then from there, I will just squeegee out the rest. That is a perfectly installed screen protector with literally 0 bubbles. I tend to rock my phones naked, but make sure you install a screen protector. You want to protect, obviously, your phone from scratches. ESR also makes screen protectors for more than just your phone, for devices like your iPad. So anything with a screen, anything that you interact with, they've got you covered. And like I said, with that little template, it is dust-free, bubble-free, and we are ready to continue this video. Next up, for my music streaming service of choice, I just listen to Spotify, so you can see some of my favorite artists here. So I'm a big like Rufus DeSalle fan, Sultan and Shepard, Paul Kalkbrenner. I'm really into electronic music. The next app is called the Grint, which is actually like a golf specific app. So now as we get back into like springtime, this will actually be great. So you can use this to like track your shots. It focuses on like a round through GPS. So once you activate it, you can see where you are in the course. It tracks your handicap. Mine is absolutely like atrocious. I think it's like 25, but you can see the last match that I played was back in Delhi in November of 2024. I got my very first hole-in-one, which yeah, it's pretty special, as I think I've only played like 25 rounds of golf in my life. So that, yeah, was something that I'll never forget. And hopefully this year I can, break 100 regularly. That would be pretty dope. The next app is called Backdrops, and that's not just an app that I have on this phone. When I test out a new device, I usually have a specific like wallpaper. I don't like to use the stock ones. So I typically just have my Backdrops app just running, so you can see all of the free wallpapers that you can choose from. I know that there is a paid subscription as well, but there are so many great free wallpapers that you can choose. I personally won't be changing mine of link, but if you were looking for a wallpaper app, I would definitely recommend this one. Moving on to reminders, it's just like an app that I use to once again help set reminders. Next is Vivino, which is a cool little wine app. So now that you saw the surprise announcement, I'm the only one in the household that is drinking wine. So when I take like a photo of it, you can just like scan the barcode. It will actually give you like a rating of the wine. Other wine drinkers will have their info, they'll have their rating on it. So the next app called Kino, this is actually a video app developed by Tyler Stallman, another content creator that introed it to me at Apple Campus actually. So you can apply a bunch of different LUTs to your footage that you're shooting. You can also apply the LUTs after the fact. So any any video that you've shot, you can apply the LUT afterwards. It's a pretty cool one. It does cost money. I definitely downloaded it to support him. Not like he's ever gonna watch this video, but yeah, it's a cool little app if you are kind of color grading your footage. It gives your stock iPhone footage like a cinematic look, so definitely worth checking out if you are into that. Next one, Pinterest, as we wrap up our house build, like finally, whenever that should be done, maybe like in the next couple months. This was all the inspiration for like my build. So you can actually see some of the photos that I was like looking through for my washroom. You can actually see some of the suits that I was looking at for my groomsmen for like my wedding, which was like 2 years ago now. Remembering that. Watches, cars, all the stuff that, I like to look at, and a lot of just home inspiration stuff. So I think it's a great place to get ideas, gives you an inspiration, gives you a good starting point, and then that harsh reality of how effing expensive everything is. But that is Pinterest. It's been around literally forever. Geekbench, just like Backdrops, is an app that I install on every new device I get. It's just like a benchmark app that, tests out how powerful or how quick your device is, and then you can compare it. Does this app need an introduction? With all my flying and all my shitty Air Canada experiences, I am still stuck to this airline. So if you fly anywhere international from Canada, you literally only have one choice. If you want status, you have to suffer through Air Canada, which I will say there are some benefits. You get, to upgrade to business class a lot. You get access to the lounge, but for the amount of delays, I'm actually gonna bring up the next app, which I forgot to put on this page. It's called Flighty. This app actually tracks, and maybe my most favorite app that I've used of the year, of all of your flights that you've taken. So say for example, in 2024, you can see that I flew 265,000 kilometers, which is crazy. Currently in 2025, I'm already at almost 61,000. You can actually track the status delays. So 78% of my Air Canada flights, so 14 out of 18 flights have been delayed. You can see some of the other ones, they're 100% because I've only flown with them once. British Airways, EasyJet, Ryanair, those are no surprises, but Air Canada, man, you have just been struggling so much, or I've just had the worst luck. I don't know what it is, but on Flighty, you can actually track like your status around the world. You can see the flight paths. So I've gone to Europe a lot. Actually in 2024, you can see some of these long hauls. Like I flew all the way to Delhi. I flew all the way to Asia, so to Japan. I flew to Tokyo. Moving on to the next three, honestly, Creators app, I don't use much. It's through Sony. Ticketmaster, self-explanatory for when I buy tickets to concerts. Let's see if we can pull up one of my last ones, my events. Oh, passed, it went away. You just saw it. I was at a Ben Bomer concert, a DJ when he was in town. OpenTable is a useful little app. Once again, it's been around forever. It's just to make reservations for restaurants. I know in Toronto, we've got a really good food scene, so usually good restaurants are fully booked up, so you just want to make a reso beforehand. Second last one, or I guess last one, because we talked about Pokemon TCGP. It's Candy Crush. So when I don't have connection to the internet, when I'm on all those delayed long Air Canada flights, I am just crushing the candies because I don't have usually connection to Wi-Fi. I never buy like in-flight Wi-Fi. It's usually like my time to sleep. It's me time. I disconnect from all the hecticness of social. But those are the main apps that I use on a day-to-day basis. Hopefully you took some of them, away and are going to use some of them. I will hit stop on the recording. If there's any other useful apps that you guys know of, let me know down below in the comments. Hopefully you enjoyed my updated what's on my iPhone list. I'm really hoping none of you suffer any delayed flights or just nearly as many as I have. If you're at 50%, I'm already feeling bad for you, and I will catch the rest of you in one of my next vids, or maybe in Pokemon trading cards with me. Peace.